the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
See, the thing is that sometimes what Noel and I do is we like to talk about our deepest, darkest secrets right before we hit record on the show. Darkest.
If someone ever knew the truth.
If they knew the truth. And what's funny is we don't talk about it all week, but the moment we're about to record the show, hey, can I tell you something that I'll never tell another soul?
A personal secret that means that nobody else could know?
And then Veronica's like, I was recording the whole time.
Veronica always records it.
Oh my gosh.
And then we have to delete.
Veronica's actually building a massive blackmailing file. I think that's what's going on. She has so much that she can just go, I know all your deepest, darkest secrets. Hey, look at this. We're both drinking coffee.
Hey, well, this morning was a special morning for me.
What made it special?
My daughter drives.
She does. She does drive. I've seen it.
Because she drives all by herself with a license and everything, on Thursday she doesn't have to go get rushed to gymnastics, and it's a whole complicated thing. So we usually give her a ride to school just because it's easier if Tali takes her to gymnastics, she can change and eat while they're moving. It's just to save time because it's a tight window. Real tight. Thursday, we happen to be recording on a Thursday this week.
Yeah.
You're hearing this podcast on Friday.
Yeah, you'll hear it tomorrow. This is probably we normally don't do this close of a window, but when we do, it's really, really the best stuff.
It's the best, the freshest.
It's the freshest. This is the fresh donuts.
This is fresh donut content made with fresh weed and sugar.
Yes, absolutely. So it's a Thursday.
Oh, it's a Thursday. I was telling a story, wasn't I? It's a Thursday, so that means Jaden doesn't have gymnastics on Thursday afternoons.
Right. Oh.
So she's like, I want to drive to school. I want to flex my grown-up muscles. So she took my car. So I'm running around and
She stole your car?
Yeah, so I stole my dad's car. This is how it works.
Everybody's stealing cars.
I'm in this tiny purple stick shift car that my dad got that he doesn't even know what to do with.
I love it.
So he's like, wow, you can take the bloody Fit. So I'm running around this little Honda Fit. It's the funniest thing. Yeah. But anyways, the point is I didn't have to get up super early to take her to school. And then Owen, normally I would just take him to school because I'm up anyway, but Owen was taken by Talia today because she has to do, it's a back to school day and she's on the PTA and they're it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
So this morning I was like, I got nothing to do. I got time to do.
You had a minute. And you know that as a grown-up and as a parent, when you just get a minute, you just kind of go, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I popped on a little bit. I popped on my show that I watch on the YouTubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking Points for those of you who want to.
Breaking Points.
want to
check them out? Yeah. You don't listen to the Biofriendly Podcast when you're not recording the Biofriendly Podcast?
I do.
So you're not telling me that you woke up this morning and I finally have a moment. I got to listen to my own show.
I'm waiting for it to come out.
Oh, okay.
It's not out till tomorrow.
That's fair. Okay, listen to it tomorrow. Listen to it tomorrow.
I already heard the most recent Biofriendly Podcast. I listened. It was great.
It's great.
It was high quality content.
Really good.
It was my beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
It was a beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
No, in this case, I watched someone else's show.
Okay.
I watched someone else's show. It's a show that I like. I revealed too much about myself by saying what I watch. Now everybody knows what my underpants look like.
Call now.
But I was watching that show and just taking my time with breakfast.
Yeah.
Just took my time, and I didn't have coffee because I thought, you know what? Since I'm not in any kind of crazy rush, nothing's going on. I'm just gonna chill out. I'm gonna have my breakfast, and I'm gonna have coffee on the show.
I love it.
With Jacob.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk with Jacob and Noel.
So I'm having my coffee right now in public.
Is it nice and hot still? Because that's the key with this guy.
It is. It's got a nice bake. I wish I had a Yeti.
Yeah. I know. I wish you had a Yeti.
If I had a Yeti, then it would be hotter.
If I had the Yeti, a Yeti. Sorry, that's Fiddler on the Roof. Because we... Anyway, yeah.
Well, there's also this version. They remade that song.
They did?
If I had a Yeti, Yeti.
Yes.
If I had a Yeti, I'd use the Yeti, and it would keep things hot.
That's it. That's it.
You know the remake.
Yeah, it's called Hot Drink on a Roof. It's a great musical. Oh, we're definitely nearing the end of the week. We can feel
end of the show?
End of the show. Yeah, thanks, guys. We've been your beacon of light. No.
Jacob's brain is constant. What?
Yes. Actually, should we have a brief, no, it's more fun if I was going to say a hint at what the tags are at the end now.
So we can remember what the hell it is we're supposed to say.
Because you and I are going to get to the end and we're going to just go, what was that newest one? Because we have a new one. Just tell me what the new one was, and then when we get there, we'll see if we can get it.
I know. I think I know mine. Don't tell me mine. I think I can get them. Okay. I think I can get them.
Okay, then never mind.
No. I feel like yours is the newest one. Mine's a little bit older than yours.
The newest one.
I've screwed up mine like 6 times.
The newest one, and I don't remember what it is. It was something about
frogs.
We assume it's that one. That's the latest one. We assume on the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I got it. Okay.
So I'm not going to look at this.
Okay. Don't look at not yet. Well, we may call upon you at the end.
Oh, we'll screw it up.
We'll screw it up, like undoubtedly.
100%. Yeah, we'll mess it up.
So, do we want to get into the core of it, or do you want to keep shenanigans?
We could do anything you want. We could do anything. I mean, are you enjoying your fall morning?
I'm enjoying my fall morning. The weather has cooled off. Mm-hmm. It's come off. We had a heat wave for like 3 weeks there that was pretty rough here in LA. And it's been nice and overcast in the mornings, and the days haven't been too warm. And we're getting towards that fall feeling. And you know, if you listen to the show long enough, we go crazy once it gets this time of year.
We do. The lights get fun on the biofriendly sign behind us.
Yeah, we do the Halloween decorations. We do the holiday decorations.
Christmas becomes a miracle. We just get really into it.
Oh,
we get Sean.
Oh yeah,
Coney
we get
on.
Sean Cone.
I did it again.
You did it again.
It's okay. It's so funny.
We called him Coney for 8 years. It's fine.
8 years. Sean Cone.
You
know, I actually thought, what I said to my head is like, it's Cone, and I'm wrong. I literally did.
You did.
I was like, I know that his name is Sean Cone, but I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I changed his last name to the wrong thing.
Yeah. And then there's...
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, it's
I
hilarious.
actually have trained my brain properly, and I changed it because like, oh no, I can't be right. I'm obviously wrong.
Yeah. Never put salt in your eyes.
Okay.
Always put salt in your eyes. It's and our other friend...
We get Clayton Cogswell comes on.
Yeah, Clayton Coogswell. That's how it's pronounced. He has an umlaut over there. Clinton Coogswell.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah,
we rage.
We rage, and you and I and Veronica, do you love the fall? Do you love the autumn and winter season a lot?
I do, yes.
Yeah, it's just, for some reason it's my favorite time of year. The warm drinks, the warm clothes, and I know that people who live in other parts of the country
in the cold weather,
in the very cold weather, are like screw you. But it is a really lovely time to live in this part of the country because it gets just perfect. It's like, we still have our 70-degree sunny days, but every night is nice and crisp, and it's really, it's one of the reasons why you move here.
The days sometimes get into the 60s, which is kind of refreshing for a Californian who's been living in 105-degree weather.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I hear we have a little bit more heat, just a little bit more. You know how it goes. There's that tease. There's that autumn tease. So it's like, it's cool. You wear a sweater and then you get a random 100-degree day, and you're like, oh,
maybe a few of them.
Yeah. But
do we have 100 degrees coming, or is it just
not 100, 90s?
Okay, 90s. I can live with that.
About a week from now.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that week we should go to like Michigan or something.
You want to go to Michigan next week? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, Michigan, we're coming to you for the Biofriendly Podcast Michigan
live
style.
show, Michigan.
Yeah.
Sign up now.
So, does anybody have any guesses on what you think I'm going to talk about today? Because I've been throwing some wacky curveballs.
Spiders.
You're not far off.
Really?
You're not far off.
Really?
You're not far off.
Okay.
Do you have a guess? Nate, take it further.
He said spiders.
He said spiders. You got to get right in that mic. You're to the left of it. You're to the right of it. There you go.
Do you hate microphones? What did microphones do to you?
What did a microphone do to you? You literally, I want to impersonate what we see on our end, okay? This is what we see from Veronica. She's got a microphone right in front of her face. And this is what she does. We ask her a question, and she's like this.
She turns to the side. She goes to the side of the microphone, and she talks to the not microphone.
And we're like, it's right there. It's pointing at your mouth.
I don't like my voice.
Oh, but we love your voice.
Veronica.
And I think that the fans of the show would write in and say, Veronica's voice is a attribute. It's a gift.
Veronica's voice is the only angelic thing on the show.
Mm-hmm, it is.
That's it. Everything else is a mess.
Angel and demons.
That's right. Couple of demons over here. Your voice is terrific. What it is it's actually a very common thing when people don't listen to their voice a lot in headphones. They don't hear it back a lot. Everybody's voice sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Everybody. If you
That's
anytime you record and you listen to your voice again, or if you hear it coming into your ears on headphones, it's odd. You're like, my voice sounds. This isn't how I sound. This is wrong. This is whatever. You just have to get used to it. After you do it for a while, what happens is you kind of realize that's just my voice, and it's fine. We've
heard ourselves so much now that I can't go to sleep without headphones and talking to myself on the microphone.
That's right. That's right. And he looks good doing it.
Yeah, I do.
I hope I get to that point.
Yeah, you will. You will. We have 3,000 more episodes to go, so you'll get
before
there.
the Smithsonian.
Yeah, Smithsonian has said you have to get to 3,305.
And then we're putting you in.
And then we're in. So you were not far.
Your voice is great. So enough of that nonsense.
Enough of that nonsense.
Yeah.
so. Thank you.
Okay, so you want to take a guess?
I am assuming it's an animal.
It's he's close because he said spiders because it's around that general species, but it's not just spiders. It's actually all creepy, crawly things. Because today we're going to talk about
invertebrates,
insects.
Insects.
right.
I was gonna say. Oh my gosh!
You
I should have just said it.
You should have just said it.
I
Insects.
was going to say it.
But it's
Insects.
about. I get to bleep you.
Did I not do the first F-bomb in the
She
show
did the
today?
F. She did the first one. She
That's
drew.
very
She
exciting.
she drew first blood.
She did.
That's
That's very exciting.
It is very
She's
exciting.
Rambo today.
Yeah, she's Rambo.
Yeah.
She's spent too much time with us. No, we're talking about eating insects.
Eating spiders.
Eating insects in general. Eating them as food.
Veronica.
Not just because you're trying to get the cockroaches out the
Could you
floor
light
and
that
you're
on
hungry.
fire?
Yeah, you want to microwave
If you
it?
could just light that on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Microwave it for like 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Zap
Maybe even
this man's
30.
coffee.
Just destroy it.
Just destroy it. Just nuke it. Yep. Just take it. No, you're fine.
There we go. Sorry about
There
that,
it
ladies
comes.
and gentlemen.
By the way, you can never see you in the show because I push in so close.
Oh.
So even when
So
you're
you
right
can stand
there,
right in front of the
you-
microphone and do a dance.
Yeah,
we would not.
we've never seen
Did
you.
I say microphone?
Huh?
For how long?
20 to 30 seconds, he
Yeah,
said? 30?
do 30 seconds.
30 seconds. He wants to nuke it.
Let's go crazy.
So while she's zapping it, I don't want to get into too much detail.
No.
But the thing is when you hear the word eating insects, I'm not talking about this is like just go around and start grabbing things off the floor and eating them. This is the whole concept of specifically us Westerners, people in Europe, starting to include insects in their diet.
Yeah, well, when I went to Argentina for a thing for our company,
Yeah.
they had deep fried ants.
Yeah.
Not bad.
You like them?
Not bad.
Good.
They're like rice.
Right.
They're like
It's
little
like
bit but kind of like with more something
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
A little more
yeah.
zing.
So this is, and for people who are well-traveled and have been to places like Argentina, it's worth noting, well, I want to hold off to this fact until Veronica gets back, because I'm curious to hear her input. Again, you can safely walk to that side. You will not be seen. It is nice and pushed in. Thank you,
Like I said,
Veronica.
dance in front of that camera.
Yeah, look at that smoke coming off that coffee.
There
That's
it
the
is.
scalding hot
That's the stuff.
that Papa needs.
Thank
Papa.
you.
Papa.
Thank you.
So we're talking about eating insects as in this is just a part of the cuisine. And the
Thank
reason
you for not saying daddy, by the way. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
me
I chose Papa on purpose because I thought Papa's sweet.
Yeah, Papa's sweet.
Papa is sweet. You
Daddy's
know,
been ruined.
No, it's been ruined.
I'm so upset about it.
Absolutely ruined.
So upset about
Yeah,
this.
you
I've
gotta-
probably talked about it on the show too many times.
We have
but
talked about it before, but I'm saying it again. That's why when she was like, Papa needs it hot. You know,
Papa likes it hot.
Papa likes it hot.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's
Yeah,
cute.
yeah.
Right? So around the world, insects are a normal part of nutrition and diet and food, and they have dozens, if not hundreds, of ways of making insects into food. At 2 billion people around the world, this is like a normal part of their life, is eating insects. Okay?
Look, ever since The Lion King came out and I saw Timon and Pumbaa
Eating the bugs.
show how it works,
Yeah.
I have been a fan of the
You've been a
concept.
fan,
I
yeah.
think let's just eat the bugs.
Yeah.
I can see what's happening.
I love it.
Let's
I love
do it.
Yes, that was an important scene for all of us because we were like, hey, maybe bugs are delicious.
Yeah.
So the thing is, so I have this really cool article that kind of breaks down like the positive, and then they look at like what's maybe some of the things that we need to be careful for. So it looks at both sides of the coin.
I'm sure there's probably some that are poisonous or something. That probably would kill us.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
what they talk about. So here's one thing
And
that
the
you should
thought
know.
of all the antenna and the tiny legs and things freaks people out.
I think it's a marketing problem.
Yeah, it's a marketing
I think
problem.
it's a marketing problem because here's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
A lot of bugs, in a lot of ways, these things evolved in the same way that crustaceans do, and so they're like land prawns.
And land prawns.
You know what I mean? Like we eat shellfish and things from the bottom of the ocean that are doing the exact same thing that insects are doing.
I'll even prove it.
Yeah.
Veronica, if I say the world is my oyster, what would you say the world is to you?
The world is my jumbo shrimp.
The world is your jumbo shrimp.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is, right there. Jumbo shrimp and oyster. These are things that are kind of like the bugs of the
the
ocean,
sea.
of the sea, and everybody is like,
we love those.
and they're like, they're so fancy,
Crab legs.
crab legs, and I have to have my lobster tail and everything. And if you look at that creature before it's, when it's still alive,
kind of antennae.
it's
with
antennae,
like legs.
and it crawls and it eats the crap and the bacteria off the bottom of the ocean,
and yet it is a taste sensation.
Taste sensation. So I think it's a marketing problem.
It's a marketing problem.
Yes.
I should be eating cockroach.
Yeah, you should be eating cockroach. We have one in there waiting for us. We have a cockroach in this closet that has been laying on his back, and none of us want to get it.
But he's playing dead.
He's playing dead. That's right, because we all know cockroaches
we're
live
not
forever.
sure if he's actually dead.
I think. Do you think that when he leaves, he's like?
He gets up and he runs around the whole place.
And then when we come back, he lays on his back. So he's living like a Toy Story
He's
life.
the one who keeps locking your door.
He's the one that's locking your door.
He's the one closing your door and locking it.
He is a big cockroach.
He's a massive cockroach.
Massive. Yeah. So here's the good parts about insects. Okay, eating bugs, as gross as it seems to us in North America and a lot of European countries, the benefits to our bodies there's numerous ways that it benefits our bodies. Insects are a great source of nutrients. You may be surprised to learn that edible insects are really good for you. The protein content of an insect is 20 to 76% of dry matter, depending on the
20 to 65%
of dry matter, depending on the insect's type and development stage. For example, one 3.5 ounce portion of grasshopper typically contains between 14 and 28 grams of protein.
What?
Yes. This translates to 25 to 60% of your recommended daily allowance just from one small serving of food. Okay? So the same serving of red ants also yields about 14 grams of protein, as well as a whopping 71% of the recommended daily allowance of iron.
And the red ants have no problem eating me.
Right. So eat them back.
So why shouldn't I eat them?
Exactly. Crickets.
It's not the same as the fish deal. I've never been eaten by a fish before.
No, fish
And
leave us
therefore,
alone.
I try to not eat fish.
Yeah.
It's a deal.
I eat fish.
That's fair.
Just because I'm a bastard. No, just kidding.
Well, that's one time with a shark, and you were like, "Wow, this is
One time with a shark,
like
and I was
obviously that's war."
It's war. It's on. It's on. I actually, one time when I was traveling, there was this area where they weren't dangerous fish, but they all swarmed my legs, and they all were doing that little nippy thing.
That cute
and
little
actually,
kiss,
it was really the little kissy thing, and I
Yeah.
kind of loved it. And I was like, maybe I should stop eating fish.
I should stop eating these poor guys.
I should.
Yeah, they were trying to eat you though. They just couldn't get there.
They were just like
They just couldn't get their mouth around your
They were
leg.
like, destroy,
attack.
attack his legs immediately. That makes me laugh so hard. Oh my gosh. So crickets, beetles, and caterpillars are great sources of these nutrients as well. So this is why they're talking about in the article. Protein is one of the most important things. It's like the building blocks of life. Protein is like a very important nutrient.
A very important nutrient. I tried to do my Timon. Pumbaa.
Yeah, Pumbaa.
Pumbaa.
Yeah. So then I got to do my Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's the thing about these bugs. They have protein.
Oh, that sounds crazy.
We're going to do the rest of the podcast is Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah. So the basic protein is important. It helps build your muscles, bones, skin. It's so important to have, okay? So another thing that's important to know is that I want to stress, because when I was...
You don't stress. Don't stress. Someone give this guy some fish kisses. Can someone give this guy some fish kisses?
Attack!
He's so stressed out.
Attack!
I'm sorry. You want to stress.
I want to stress. So as I went digging down this rabbit hole about eating insects, I did see some articles and things that were like, look, everybody has their tilt, their lean. And there were some angry people on other sides who were like, those liberals are going to make us give up our burgers and eat bugs. And they were
Those damn liberals.
Yeah, it was like so angry, and it was like, oh, I just saw Robert Downey Jr. talking about eating bugs and crickets, and what are they going to tell us to do next? And I was going, I don't think that any of these people that I was finding are saying that's it. You can only eat bugs. They were saying, hey, it's a really cool idea if we could incorporate this in, because then you wouldn't need as much of the other stuff. You could really space it out. You could come up with more creative ways, because at any given time on this earth, there are 10 quintillion insects.
Quintillion, just so you know. So, like, there's
You want to break this down?
There's billion, right?
Yeah.
Which we know what a
Yeah.
billionaire is, right?
Yeah.
Actually, let's start more simple than
Okay,
that.
more simple.
Okay.
Break it
So,
down for me, fellas.
If you had $1,000,
Uh-huh.
you'd probably be like, "Ooh, I got $1,000.
Sure.
That's a pretty fun time. Take $1,000 to Vegas, you'd have a blast. Right? $1,000.
Yeah.
So we all conceptualize $1,000. If you had 1,000 of those, so $1,000 bills.
Okay.
You got $1 million.
$1 million.
So it's a lot. $1 million is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. If you had $1,000 million bills.
Yeah.
So think about your $1 million. That's a house. That's in most places still. Even
Southern
with the
California,
thing, still, it's a pretty good house.
Great house.
Okay, 1,000 houses is $1 billion.
Is $1 billion.
$1 billion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that. Okay. What then equates to $1 billion? $1 billion is a low-level basketball team or like a low-level baseball team. That's $1 billion, right? That's the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, maybe even a network.
Maybe even a small network.
Like a television network.
That's $1 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 1,000 of those is $1 trillion.
Wow.
1,000.
1,000 of billions.
That means you own all of them. You would own all the sports teams in a couple of leagues. Is $1 trillion.
Is $1 trillion.
Okay.
Yeah, you own it all.
1,000 of those.
Yeah.
Is a quadrillion.
Yes. Yes.
So conceptually, you have to think about 1,000 sports leagues.
Right.
1,000 sports leagues. Okay, so that's probably like
smoke starts coming out of my head right now.
Honestly, that's like owning America.
Yeah. It's like owning America.
That's like probably owning America.
That's the cost of America.
Because America's gross national product is like 23 trillion or something like that a year. Yeah. Okay, so you figure you in fact it's more than in America. Quadrillion is like Europe and America
combined.
Yeah,
and throw probably, Canada
I
in
would
there
say
for good measure.
The Western world is probably $1 quadrillion. Okay, that's the Western world is $1 quadrillion. 1,000 Western worlds is a quintillion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many quintillion are we talking
10.
about? 10 of those.
At any given moment on Earth, with the birth and death of them constantly.
That I'm just trying to quantify that number for people. Like how much a quintillion is. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It's a ridiculously large number.
I believe, and it's in my document somewhere because I read a lot of stuff. I think it's 1.6 billion insects per human on this planet.
If you want to get crazy, baby.
Yeah.
1,000 of those is a sextillion.
Sextillion. Hey, all right. It's almost the weekend. So that's a lot of bugs. So back to my point about the liberal elites are not trying to make you only eat insects. This is an alternative.
Can I just put something out there?
Yeah.
I think I might even chuckle and enjoy a little bit that attempt.
Yeah.
The attempt. Because you look at what it's like to see, and this is, if this goes on I'm honestly not trying to go on a political side. I'm trying to just make an observation.
Yeah.
Because I really don't have any objection either way.
Sure.
But if you look at the battle for guns at the moment, right, like trying to take guns away from people who love them, is like it's
impossible to do.
Impossible to do. Okay.
Yeah.
I would hazard a guess that the passion for guns is probably 1/1000th if we're doing those thousands of the passion for meat.
Yes, it's true. It's true. And so people get really defensive.
Yeah,
they get really defensive.
I just can't imagine how they pull it off. I can't think how that could ever get pulled off.
Yeah.
I don't think you even have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about it.
I don't. I just think that it's pretty understood that trying to take your hamburgers is going to be a political mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that these people that are pushing this and saying, hey, America, we got to get over our heebie-jeebies about bugs. Because if you can refine bugs into a flour. They make like cricket flour, like Nutribars. Yeah. And they have food out there. And I think that, like I said at the beginning, it's a marketing issue. I think the problem is they're just like showing us the bug and going, and they're calling, the funny thing is they're keeping the name. So it's like, this is larva, whatever. And I'm going, come on.
No, don't give it a food name.
Yeah, give it a food name, like escargot.
Escargot doesn't sound like snail.
No, it doesn't sound like snail.
By the way, have you ever had it?
No, I've never had escargot.
Oh, it's good.
Is it good? I bet you it's delicious.
Oh my God. It's good. It's good because it's like the garlic and the butter combination, because it's French, right?
Yeah,
They're really good. They're really good at butter.
They know how to
butter. Use it. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. But the combination of garlic and butter
is just delicious.
on the snail is like
so good.
Holy. I mean, the texture takes a little getting used to, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I will give you that. The texture is odd.
Yeah.
But the flavor is undeniable.
Yeah.
It's great.
So but escargot is so fancy sounding, right? It's like if you go to a restaurant, you order escargot.
Yeah.
So they just need to rename these things, have some more clever ways. Like the perfect
Like
example.
Hopper Pockets.
Yeah, Hopper.
It's not a cricket.
Hopper Pockets.
It's a Hopper Pocket.
Hopper Pockets. There's the bread stuffed with grasshoppers. Well, I was thinking of the scene in Funny Farm where he eats.
I want some Hopper Pockets.
I want him. I was thinking of the scene in Funny Farm, which is this movie with Chevy Chase, and he goes to this tiny place and he eats lamb fries, and they're the sheep balls, remember?
That's
and
right.
so he eats
right.
them all, and it's
They're
because
delicious.
they're named something different. He's fine with it,
Yeah.
and so it's like anyway, marketing issue.
It is a marketing issue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you on board? No, go ahead.
Well, okay. So this is let's go down a crazy
Rabbit hole. Let's do it.
crazy rabbit hole.
Crazy.
Unlikely rabbit hole, folks. But
Okay.
what the heck? Let's have fun.
Let's have fun.
Okay.
We never do that on the
So
show. I'm ready to have fun for once.
We don't have fun on the show.
Yeah.
So it's a thought experiment, right?
Okay.
So you've been hearing about solar storms that have been
Mm-hmm.
coming from the sun recently, and how people, there was for a while a small panic that, oh my God, there's solar flares that are
They're going to wipe us out.
they are going right towards us. The sun's
Right.
pointing directly at us and whatever else. And then people found out, well, these are, the level of these solar storms is like 1/10 of stuff that just causes,
Right.
a little bit of
issue here and there.
static in your radio.
Yeah.
And so it's not nearly as bad as people thought, but because of the potential of a really big solar storm, right? Because in the 1800s there was a massive solar storm and it took out
Tons of stuff.
Took out the electrical, what they had, their telephone grid
And
basically at the time.
thank goodness we didn't have the internet and computers back then.
Right.
Because it wasn't that much that had to go down.
Right. So
Right.
people obviously were panicking. They thought, oh God, if it's happened before, it could happen again. And by the way, it could.
It could.
Now there have been some. The engineers have built in some recovery options for fixing it fairly quickly. They think. We'll see. It hasn't
hope.
happened yet.
Right.
But let's suppose,
Okay.
for a minute, that one of two crazy things happens. There's a solar storm big enough that it just wipes out electricity
Yeah. We have
for a year or more.
Yeah.
Or there's a war, and some enterprising military person doesn't want to destroy the enemy. They just want to knock out their power,
Yeah.
and so they just start launching EMP, like electromagnetic pulses, and they just start blowing out electrical grids everywhere you go.
Sure.
Or there's a cyber attack, and you start blowing out whatever, right?
Yeah.
So electricity's gone.
Right.
If electricity's gone because of the way we've got our world set up now, because it's kind of built on that infrastructure, it would be really a problem for a lot of people to even live.
Right.
Because the refrigeration would, we refrigerate, we rely on it now. We've changed the way we do it. People don't know how to hunt.
Right.
Some people do. Most people don't know how to hunt. Most people, if you ask them to go gather food,
Yeah. They wouldn't know what to do.
they would pick the wrong mushroom for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's lots of, and then there would just be the panicking, the right of the streets, and all that kind of stuff, which would probably cause lots of issues.
Yeah.
But here it is, folks.
Here it is.
You're learning right now that if the world goes to hell in a handbasket because people turn off electricity, you can start eating bugs.
You can start eating bugs. You absolutely can.
You can absolutely start eating bugs and
Yeah.
survive on them. There's a lot of nutrients.
There's a lot of nutrients. So let me.
So let's start learning to cook bugs.
Yeah. Let's start learning to cook bugs.
Let's figure it out now.
Yes. So let me tell you right now. So beef is generally considered an excellent source of protein and other valuable nutrients. But in fact, 100 grams of beef yields around the same amount of protein as crickets.
As
Okay.
100 pounds of crickets?
It just says 100 grams of beef
grams, okay.
yields around the same amount of protein as crickets. So I'm guessing 100 grams.
Of crickets,
So,
okay.
yeah. Producing this mere 1 kilogram of beef also takes a toll on our resources. The process requires an average of about 15 liters of water, in addition to the water used to grow food for the cattle to eat. Raising the same amount of mealworms uses about 4 liters, a full 9 liters less than each kilogram of beef.
Can I do my every time something is said that I want to push back against really quick?
Right. Again, I want to say, I went into this to say, I'm not saying we should stop farming or any of that stuff.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
Yes. I'm not saying that either. I'm saying we should stop farming badly.
Badly. Yes, absolutely. Bad, not wasting water. And this is, we're obviously seeing a lot of headlines right now about droughts, about crops becoming more difficult to grow, about our soil erosion, all that stuff. Again, this also helps us buy some time and find other methods of eating and nutrients and food and getting food to people and making sure they're okay while we fix and solve and reorganize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This insects could also be a huge part of just a dietary transition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be a
Yeah,
big
well,
thing.
hey, look, I you know me, but I love diversity. I love like let's diversify our eating grid.
Yeah, exactly.
let's have more options. I'm just saying that in North America, before any white man was around, there were millions of buffalo and bison out herding in the plains.
And the soil was great.
The soil was great. The environment was fine. They like what they produce in terms of waste is absorbed by their activity.
Yeah.
They're carbon neutral. They're fantastic. There's nothing wrong with them, provided that we let them just do what they do. I just want to always say that whenever this comes up, because people are using this as a hot button topic to in environmentalism, and it's wrong.
Right.
It's completely wrong. It's what's right about this is letting these animals just roam and be free and do their thing. Instead of pitting them all together.
Yes, and that's I think that's what they're saying is that this farming, the way that we're doing things right now is very, very resource consuming.
It is. Yeah. We subsidize corn.
Yeah, exactly.
And we do that so that we can. I mean, it's a mess. Anyways, go ahead.
So one of the other reasons why this is an important thing to look at is, as we all know, the population is going up. Okay, so
for now,
not soon enough it'll end. No, in 1800, the world population reached 1 billion. In a mere 130 years after that, this number doubled itself to reach 2 billion, and it has only picked up speed since then. The world population is estimated to reach 10 billion by 2055. So we're supposed to hit 10 billion people in 2055. That's the guesstimate.
Yeah,
you think it'll be less?
Let's see.
Oh, you think it won't?
Let's see.
War.
No, I think you. How many kids do you have?
2. Yeah. People are having less kids.
How many kids did I have? 2. How many kids are they having in Japan? How many kids are they having in China?
None.
How many? I mean, like
it's changing.
There's a hell of a lot of old people going to die off.
Yeah, it's
true.
I
mean, there was a massive boom during the baby boomer time.
Yeah,
and they had a lot of kids who were Xers.
Yeah,
and it's been getting
less and less.
Less and less. I mean, we're actually. Let's see. Yeah. We might get to 10 billion, but it'll come down sharply.
It's just saying feeding these numbers of people poses a challenge even now. So we already have a lot of people, and there's a challenge in getting enough food to everybody in the world. So they're saying, again, this is a place that we could get food to people, find resources that's easier for poverty-stricken areas, So anyway, I'm going to move on.
Look, I'm into it.
Okay,
I'm just finding lots of things to argue with the author.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So anyway, economy. Insect farming can help provide a stable income. This actually crossed my mind too because my place is surrounded with crickets.
Could you imagine if you could just throw them into a pot and eat them?
Exactly. I thought to myself, I was like, what a side hustle if I could have like Jacob and Jamie's crickets, and I just grab them. Don't worry about the phone. It's somebody calling right now. Hopper pockets. Yeah, hopper pockets. When it comes to producing insects for food, edible insects could level the playing field. Farming insects does not require a lot of land or expensive machinery. Even the poorest segment of the population in our least developed countries can do it and make a profit. Insect farming can also provide a stable income to established farmers who can earn net incomes between 5 to 10K a year in countries where the average gross income is about $56.40 per year. I don't know if that matters to you. Hey, there you go.
I'm not going to even argue with that one.
So here's the benefits of the edible insects in summary, and then we're going to move on to some of the bad stuff. Okay. Rich in needed protein and iron.
Yep.
Less strain on land and water resources.
Okay.
A reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, which contributes to climate change. A potential solution to world hunger and food insecurity. And a stable income to farmers in developing countries.
I mean, I sort of agree with most of it.
Most of it.
Sort of, yeah. Sort of.
What do you not?
Yeah.
Well, you've already made it clear what you don't agree with.
Yeah, well, look, quintillions a lot. There's a lot of insects, but we also are finding that our activity is reducing insects as it is.
That's true.
We're cutting back. Now, I don't expect, by the way, I mean, this is a kind of, it's a half and half argument because we're not going to eat a lot of insects. It's just, I don't think we're ever going to do it. I don't think they're going to be, lobsters.
Yeah, it's never going to take off.
I don't think we're going to have crab legs. Cricket legs are not going to be the popular thing in a buffet.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Unless we can grow them really large.
Oh God.
Can we get some radiation on these crickets
so
and you just have
frightening.
this giant cricket and you're just like,
just chomping its head off and eating it.
Oh my gosh,
See, that's where we would go.
Yeah, and then monsters would come because then they'd take over the planet and it would be a grasshopper cricket invasion.
Yeah. I don't. So I don't. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I don't think we're gonna eat. I don't think we're gonna eat all the insects.
I think it's a good extra thing. I feel the same way about eating these insects as I do about solar panels.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's
you just can't overdo
man.
it. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
it sounds great as well.
Yeah.
Let's throw it in the mix.
Yeah, throw it in the mix.
Yeah.
So the bad begins with, of course, there's possible allergies. Okay, so there's just not a lot of.
Sure.
So,
every time I eat a bee.
yeah. So it's basically food allergies are becoming an increasing problem, right? You have eggs, shellfish, nuts, milk, once considered benign, are now common triggers for allergic reactions. Insects have the same capacity
Which
to
I
trigger.
think is also related to crappy farming.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's just poor farming?
Oh, I do.
It's just.
I did. People weren't allergic to these things in the same way they are now.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
But it's
40, 30
because we
years
put a
ago.
bunch of stuff in them?
I think we're messing around with the way we grow food.
Yeah.
And I think it's changing the way the food.
Really?
Oh, big time.
Maybe we should talk about that on an episode. Allergies?
I think it would be a good.
That'd be an interesting thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good topic idea. Okay, so anyway, one study found that insects have the same capacity. This makes sense when you consider that insects and crustaceans are both classified as arthropods. This is what I was saying earlier, meaning they have an exoskeleton and segmented bodies. So if you have a shellfish allergy, you may want to steer clear of cricket flour or roasted grasshoppers. It's just something they're saying. The thing might be the same.
It could be.
Could be.
Could
So
be.
we don't have a lot of testing on it.
Yeah, it could be. But I would be curious. I'll bet that they're probably less allergenic than
Yeah.
what we're dealing with now because
They're not being cultivated in a farm.
Yeah, it hasn't been messed with.
Yeah, and so here's the other issues, and this is the number one thing I think because it's the way that we in America look at them, and probably most European countries, bacteria. You look at an insect and you think dirty. You know, it's got diseases, it's gross. It's like something that represents, like if you were to walk into a house that was just infested with insects, you would be like, this place is dirty. This place is gross, right? Yeah. So we immediately equate it to that. Mm-hmm. And so that is something that people go, all right, well, I don't know if I could eat that because it's eating bacteria. But it says many insects feed on decaying matter.
Yeah.
Rotting food, animal corpses, human waste, which are all full of bacteria.
Part of their purpose.
Yeah. This is a common danger associated with wild-caught insects. So they're saying wild-caught, okay? So this is, if we go into this and you're just going into places and scooping up a bunch of wild insects to cook for dinner, like I was going to do with my crickets, maybe it's not a good idea.
Although, I mean, the way we handle bacteria in pork and
food,
steak and everything else is raising the temperature of it hot enough that it kills off the bacteria.
That's true.
So just boil them, baby.
So just boil them.
Deep fry those things.
Yeah.
Cook them.
So they basically said that the problem would be fixed if they regulated the conditions in which bugs are raised would offset this problem.
Yeah.
So like they could solve that easy.
Yeah, I think preparation would solve it, honestly.
Yeah. Preparation H.
Yeah, you know the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I sit on too many toilets.
Yeah.
So I need Preparation H.
Feels good on the whole.
Preparation H, official sponsor of the Biofriendly Podcast. Not really. That's not actually official.
If we could get some free tubes, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Send them over.
Send us some
Send 'em
tubes.
home.
We do sit on the toilet too often.
Yeah. P.O. Box Biofriendly.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
We just have P.O. Box Biofriendly and it got to us.
It got to us, yeah. P.O. Box Biofriendly, Los Angeles, California. Yeah. So they're in bugs. This is interesting.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm gonna stress that it's not a big enough of a deal to sway us off. They're just saying, hey, if we're gonna consider things like the bacteria and all that, anti-nutrients.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
These are the dark twin of nutrients, substances that interfere with the body's ability to absorb and use protein. Now, these exist in a lot of things, so they can compromise the nutritional value of many foods, especially those made from plants like rice or flour. Some common anti-nutrients are phytic acid, tannins, and lectins. Those are anti-nutrients. So the exoskeleton, or chitin, chitin. Okay. I thought it was like chitin. You chitting me? Chitin.
Are you kidding me? No, chitin.
Chitin. Okay. Chitin of an insect has been found to have small amounts of these anti-nutrients, but most studies have found that these levels to be relatively
Actually,
low.
it's chitin.
Is it chitin?
Yeah.
It's not chitin? It's chitin.
Yeah.
Chitin. Okay, the exoskeleton, or chitin. I like chitin better. Anyway, chitin. So luckily, though, it's not also dark because chitin reduces our body's ability to absorb insect protein, but there are many health benefits to eating chitin, okay? We don't know, there's like good things about it too.
So like in tea, because you know, Veronica and I are big time fans
Tannins.
of tea. Tannins are a big part of what make tea great, because the caffeine is absorbed in you more slowly. So the tannins actually, it makes tea actually a longer lasting, sort of better caffeinated buzz than coffee. Coffee hits you, and it hits you effectively, quickly, and fast. But then it wears off. Whereas with a cup of tea, it kind of delays the effect, so that you have it kind of over a longer period of time.
Yeah, my coffee just wore off.
Yeah. Oh, he's done. Ladies and gentlemen, get him. Can we just get him another? And then throw mine in the mic.
Throw mine in the mic. So chitin, it has things that do help your immune, your immune system.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good things to it. So again, any food we eat, you could isolate like even a type of vegetable, and you could say, well, it does have this one thing in it, but it's also minuscule. That it's all about, how much you're eating of something and how it's prepared and how we cook the food. So it's just a thing to consider that there's chitin involved.
Okay.
So last is pesticides.
Okay.
How you get rid of them. That's something you have to consider, is like these animals, where they're being harvested and what they're around and what they're consuming.
I mean, to me, the concept here that makes it work is that you find them. Yeah, like I think this works as like, crazy as it sounds, as a home thing. Let's figure out. Let's get some recipes for these things and make yourself a pocket of crickets.
I really do. I am interested in that.
Yeah, and then you're not going to have the pesticide problem so much. I mean, pesticides are because you're gathering them from a farm, but why would we why would we do that? I think if you were gonna do it in a big way, then you would farm them specifically to not kill them, which means no pesticides. But you don't need to. They're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 10 quintillion of them.
There are 10 quintillion.
They're everywhere.
So many.
Just grab one.
So the number one problem, and this is the summation of this article, is that there's some issues or some positives or some things to weigh out. But they say the number one thing is, in Western cultures, we have a natural aversion to bugs. We're just kind of like, ew.
Yeah.
Right? So
and there's probably an evolutionary reason for that.
Yeah. It's like so it says in Ghana, it's common to snack on roasted termites.
Yeah.
In Southwest Brazil, queen ants are a popular delicacy. Yeah. There are tons of countries that have. Have you ever eaten any kind of insect or bug before? No?
Never.
Not at all? I have.
No.
I not like the ant. I know I had a grasshopper, like a fried grasshopper or something like that somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
And it was fine. I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah.
So you haven't done it.
No, I have not.
Well, get on it. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what's so funny is I actually found more negatives than the positives, and I didn't find any problem with it. I actually don't necessarily think any of the negatives are going to be that big of an issue.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like really, for your average person who's thinking, I'm going to try out some insects, eat me some insects.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those things are going to be. Just cook them, man. Make sure you cook
them well.
Cook your insects.
Cook your insects.
Have a try. See how you feel.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I feel like these are pretty good. Well, then have more insects. If you eat them and you're like, it's not agreeing with me. Well, then treat it the same way you do with cheese or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of things that people you eat it and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't like how it makes me feel. And then you don't eat it anymore. That's fine. It just gives people another option.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
another thing to eat.
So this is what we have to get around. I'm going to tell you something that's going to kind of gross you out.
I love it.
Okay, so we're saying in Europe and North America, we're doing everything in our power to avoid eating these nasty insects. Mm-hmm. Despite our best efforts, though, we've been consuming insects for a long time without knowing it.
Of course we have.
Right?
Yeah.
In any macaroni and cheese product, you may have as much as 225 insect fragments per each 225 grams. Frozen broccoli may contain an average of 60 aphids or mites per 100 grams.
Aphids.
Aphids. Gosh, I don't know how to say anything in our English language.
You still know how to say lots of things that are in English
It's just
language.
all the scientific words.
Once we start getting
Chitin. Aphids? Aphids. Okay. 60 aphids or mites per 100 grams. Imported olives, peanuts, and a variety of spices, including ginger, allspice, and black pepper, all allow a certain amount of insect fragments. So the thing is there's tons of insect legs and parts and bits and pieces in our food. And we eat them all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it.
Yeah.
Because they're just a part of our ecosystem, and they're in our food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delicious, crunchy.
It's probably part of the flavor of a lot of things.
Totally.
Man. It's probably built into what you're enjoying.
It's probably like when we found out that the smell of chlorine in a pool is because your pee combined with the chlorine, like the pool smell. It's because the body oils and pee, like that's the smell of a pool that you're in the summer and you're like, it smells like a summer pool. It's chlorine is odorless, and so when our body's oils and dirt and all that stuff get into the chlorine, that scent that you're smelling is that.
You're kidding.
Who told you that?
That's true.
I have put chlorine in a pool before, and it absolutely has a smell.
Yeah. When it's in its whole form, but once it cuts into the water, it's not supposed to have that. Am I wrong? I saw like so many videos on these scientists going like, yes, it's true. The smell, the pool summer smell that you smell on your skin, all that stuff is the combination of the oils in our bodies mixing with the chlorine in the pool.
Mixing with chlorine in the pool. Yeah. Well, that's probably
That's
true.
why it smells.
That's probably true. But chlorine definitely has an odor, like a pretty strong, horrible odor.
Yeah,
it's powerful.
Yeah. It was a scientist. It wasn't just like a TikToker. It was a guy who was like, yes, actually, that is true. The smell that you have on your skin from the pool in the summertime is from the oils mixing with the chlorine. So I don't know if it meant like once chlorine goes into water and it cleans it all out, and before you get into it, so it's like it's like pretty odorless. Like you're not smelling the chlorine from the pool once it's in the water, and then once we add to it, then that's how it gets on your skin. So I don't know. Fact check it.
I think that the smell on your body after you get out probably certainly has to do with the oils in your skin and all the rest of it, because that's what's gripping the water. But I don't know. I've had to do it before. I've had to clean up pools, and I've had to put chlorine in this, and it like the chlorine smell is very powerful. And when you put it in the pool and it mixes up, the smell of the pool is definitely a muted down version of that, like without you in it. Now I don't know if I haven't really analyzed the smell of that versus the smell of my skin, right? Because that might be what maybe that's different. Maybe
everybody was making these videos that were going around, and the scientist was answering. He was basically saying like the smell that you know of like you are going swimming in the summer and you get out of the pool and it has that like pool smell. That's not the chlorine. The chlorine is mixed with these oils and things from your body, and that's what you're smelling. That smells so like nostalgic. Because, so anyway.
Okay. No, hey, that's good. I think when they said it was odorless, I was like, that's actually bull honky.
Bull roar? All right.
It's definitely not odorless.
Yeah.
Well, chlorine has a very horrible odor.
Yeah. I've done pools too, and I know what you're talking about. The powder, the stuff, and you smell it.
Well, and there's liquid versions of it too, like pure liquid chlorine.
I've had the powder ones, the old school scoopers and things like that, and that has a smell.
Or the bricks that you put into the little thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it smells.
Well, let's cover it in a future one so that we can do a little bit more research on pools.
Yeah,
let's do pools.
But I think I'm trying to gather what they're saying maybe is just like that smell on your skin that she said, that combined smell of all the stuff. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
All right. It was only a point to say that we come to accept certain things that might be gross.
Yeah.
And we're fine with them. You know what I mean? Like there are things that you accept in the world that you go, well, that's just the way things are. And the fact is there's insects in your food and you're eating them and you're like, you're not really thinking about it. So you're also going swimming in a swimming pool and you're probably swimming in other people's oils and gross stuff. And you're like,
you're definitely swimming in other people's pee.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
100% you're swimming in pee.
Yeah.
My father-in-law said a hilarious joke on a Facebook post that I saw because I'm old, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't go a lot of Facebook.
Who goes on Facebook?
I went. Actually, no, let's be fair. So every once in a while, I post things for the grandparents on the Facebook. Mm-hmm. And then when you're there, you're like, well, I'm here. I should probably look at a couple things. I should probably engage in the community as opposed to just throwing up videos of the kids and then leaving.
Yeah.
Right? So anyways, I was doing that, and there was this post about a table where you sit down and the table is underwater. So it's like while you're swimming and partying and whatever, you eat dinner at this restaurant, and the restaurant is under, like, you're halfway above water. The table's above the water, but your legs and everything are below the water.
Wow. And
my father-in-law leaves this comment where he says, oh, thank God, I finally don't have to excuse myself to go to the bathroom.
Can you imagine sitting around at a dinner party and everybody's like, it just got warm. Why is it so warm here?
Yeah.
I think I seen a video like that, and there was people sitting down in that restaurant.
At that place?
Yeah, at that place.
Your legs would get so pruny.
Yeah, but someone actually...
You'd be like...
Yeah.
Somebody peed?
Someone peed, but they have that thing where they
Come closer.
Where if you pee, the water gets dark blue. So
Wait.
No,
I was always told that was a myth. I was told the color thing was a myth.
I saw a video of it. I am not kidding you.
We're all seeing videos that might be lies.
No, I have no idea. But if people are just looking at that girl, like, oh gosh, she's just, and they were like backing away from her.
We gotta do some digging for this pool thing, because I was just about to say, when we were kids, when I was like 13, I would go to pool parties at friends' houses, and everybody spreaded the rumor. They said, whatever you do, don't pee. They have a chemical at this pool that will turn it red, and everybody will know you peed or whatever. And I found out years later that was a lie. That was a total so that kids don't pee in the pool.
That is what dads say to their kids so that they won't pee in the pool.
Yes. And so you would go to these pool parties and you'd be crushing on girls. You're a teenager and you have the urge to pee, and you'd be like, well, I definitely can't, because I don't want to be the one guy at this pool party who's going to be like, clouds of red around you. And so, but I found out years later it wasn't going to happen. It was all a lie.
There's so many lies, and there's probably a few. There's probably a few that are still in our heads that we still believe that our parents said in order to get us to do something.
Yeah.
Like that's and that we probably just believe societally because people were saying that in order to get us to not do something or to do something.
Yeah, I once said on stage, it never became much of a fully formed joke, but I said the whole "you can't swim for an hour after you eat" is just a lazy parent that's tired of watching the kid swim. His kid eats like a Cheeto, and he's like, all right, and you're like, you can't swim for an hour. It's like, what? You might get a cramp. It's just because the parent wants to nap and not go back to the pool. Anyway, didn't really get off the ground, but we're gonna get out of here. But there was another thing about the consider insects, but there is a campaign to make dog food and dog treats out of insects as well, because they're like, animals eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food made for animals that's using meat, and they're going, there's anybody who's not going to really give a crap about what they're eating. It's pets. And if it's nutritious and healthy and cultivated in the right way, why not make dog biscuits out of, cricket flour instead of everything's got to be made out of, bacon?
I mean, what the heck?
Right. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool idea. It's like, the first place you can start is reduce some of the ways that we're farming poorly and needing so much meat all the time. We could give our animals cricket bones.
I'm up for it.
Hopper pockets.
I'm up for. I think. Look, I'm down with this. I think I think it's not a bad idea. I really am. I'm really up for it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No,
cool.
My issues with it have more to do with the details and the complaints that people have and why they think it's a good idea. I think it's not gonna.
You're worried about liberal elites making you eat bugs and give up your burgers. That's what you're worried about.
Yeah, man. You don't take my meat.
Oh man, it's crazy. I got to tell you, when you research for a podcast and we're in environmental stuff or things to, help the world, it's just impossible for anybody to have a civil discourse out there. It's really, really crazy.
Well, we had a pretty civil discourse.
We're the exception to the rule.
Exception to the rule.
I'm saying when you go online and you go eating bugs and you read this one article, and then the next one's like, why Leonardo DiCaprio wants you to give up your burgers and eat bugs, and you're like, I don't think that that's what's going on. But anyway.
Yeah, we've got to find a way to de-incentivize the really bright, flashy headlines. And I don't know how that's done, but right now, that's an article you write because people are going to click on it. That's going to get clicks. Of course. If you say Leonardo DiCaprio wants to take your meat and replace it with bugs, of course you're going to click on that article.
I didn't really see that article in particular, but
I could see it in my mind.
Right,
I know your point.
You know my point, which is there is a publication out there that is desperate for those clicks, and they'll do whatever they have. And it could literally be that there was an interview where Leonardo DiCaprio was talking to somebody, and they're like, "What do you think about insects as an alternate?" And he's like, "I think it's definitely something we should explore and could be helpful to our economy and nutrition on the planet." And they're like,
might reduce some of our meat consumption.
Yeah, and everybody's like, Leonardo DiCaprio wants you to give up barbecues. And you're like, that's not what he said. But anyway.
Yeah. I think the thing that I hope the audience kind of can gather from this is some things will never happen.
Yeah.
We're not going to take away the tastiest food that exists.
Yeah.
We just aren't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way because everybody wants it. The reason that steaks are so popular is because they taste good.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's true.
Everybody wants them because they taste great. Everybody wants the jumbo shrimp because the jumbo shrimp tastes good. Yeah. Everybody wants the crab legs because they taste good. Yeah. Like the things that are tasty and wonderful and great, they're not going to go away.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants them. And whether they want to admit that they want them, whether they want to publicly say that they want them, is actually irrelevant.
Yeah.
So long as they're going to keep, saying, well, I'm just going to eat it this one time, which is then every time that they eat it, we're going to keep having them.
Yeah.
Nobody's taking that stuff away. That really is never going to happen, no matter how much you push the idea of eating insects or anything else. This is just another thing. It's like, let's open our mind to what could be great. And I'm going to propose something wild here. We might find that as you have more people open to the idea of eating insects and having that be part of the diet, that there might be some really interesting food combinations that are made, that some enterprising and clever chef might notice something in the flavor and say, ooh, if I pair this with this and throw this spice here, this could be great.
Yeah.
And they might make something that is the most popular damn food. I said the bad word.
That one flies.
Okay. The most popular darn food that ever existed, and suddenly it's like, well, you can't take my crickets away.
Yeah.
I love my Hopper Pockets.
Yeah, I love my Hopper Pockets. Don't take my Hopper Pockets.
I mean, seriously.
No, it's true.
That's how it goes. I'm sure at some point, the person probably, at some point in the history of time, whether it was caveman times or whatever, somebody probably looked at a bull with its big old horns trying to kill them, and they went, who would eat that? That's insane.
Right.
No one's going to eat that.
Right. Or a snail.
Or a snail.
Or a lobster or any of these foods. It's like there are things that you go, you have no idea what could be available. And I agree that let's just open the door, because we got a lot of mouths to feed. We have soil problems, farming problems. We got to figure things out. And in the meantime, maybe there's things that we're just not trying that would give you protein, flavor, taste, be good foods, be good, unique things to serve. And I think it could be cool.
I think it could be cool too.
I think it could be cool.
Another example of how this is not going to, your steak's not going to go away.
Yeah.
So we in America, we're like, no oil.
Yeah. No oil.
We're cutting it off. We're
done.
Less leases on lands. We're cutting back the amount of production we want to do. We're not putting as much money. We're still putting some into it, a lot, frankly. But we're not. We're really cutting back on like no oil. Right? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And yet, what happens every time we visit Venezuela or Saudi Arabia or any other massive oil-producing country? We go there and we say, "Hey, could you pump more? Could you make more over there, please? Because we need more of it. Because we still have to power our country."
Right.
It's not like we stop. We still, if we need something, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Even if we're just gonna hide where we're getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very.
We're
American.
gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, so that's eating bugs, guys. Would you do it? Are you down? You down to eat some bugs?
Down.
You're
Let's
down?
go right now.
Let's go. Let's go eat some bugs.
Yeah. Let's go eat the cockroach.
Let's go eat the cockroach. Get your fork.
That cockroach is still alive.
Oh, he just opened his eyes and scurried away because he said, "Let's go eat that cockroach," and he was like, "Oh no,
no, leave that poor guy alone. He's just trying to. That's our nighttime. That's our janitor.
He's our nighttime janitor, closing Veronica's door." That has been the Biofriendly Podcast. Please make sure to tell your friends, subscribe, share the good news to everybody, and check us out on the Painless Green Facebook group. We're posting memes and cool stuff all the time. We're on Twitter at Biofriendly. We're on Instagram at Biofriendly Planet. We're on TikTok at Biofriendly Planet. Mm-hmm. We have a Facebook, Biofriendly Planet. We're everywhere. You just search the word Biofriendly on social media, and you're going to find some delicious, hilarious, fun stuff.
Delicious.
Yeah, delicious.
Insect delicious.
Delicious. So we have been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Jacob's brain is constantly rebuilding itself.
Don't be environmentally gimmicky.
This guy's got bubbles.
And featuring Todd Water Socks.
Take the W and move on.
Get back to it.
And get back to it.
And get back to it?
You can.
Shoot.
And the very last one is we always assume on this show.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Take the W and get on with it.
Get back to it.
Get back to it.
You can
get back to it.
I'm going to give Noel the license now to craft that phrase however it comes out naturally.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Take the W and get back to it.
Yeah. Take the W, and then the second part is whatever comes.
Whatever comes.
Yes. As long as you take the W, I think you just riff after that. whatever you
Take
say.
the W and whatever comes.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Yeah. Take the W and insert null phrase here.
Insert null phrase here.
Yeah. Okay. And then I said the last one, which was we assume the show. And then Veronica, is there anything you have left to say?
You look like you want
Did you want to say something else?
You said to tell your friends, right? You did say tell your friends.
I told everybody.
Yeah, you
that
said-
was,
Tell
did you
your
not?
friends.
Well, I heard about social
Tell your
media.
friends.
Follow us
I
here,
said that at
find
the
us
beginning.
there.
I said
It was
tell
your
everybody.
friends, Tell your friends.
Tell
Yeah.
everyone.
Tell everybody.
He did. I'm sorry. I don't. I assume on this show.
He assumes.
I just assumed poorly in this case.
Yes. Anything to say, Veronica?
Have a lovely time.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.